So now we are driving to the ancient city of Butrint, which is located approximately 20 kilometers away from Saranda. Our visit there will be for about 1 hour and 30 minutes, and our final stop will be in the upper part of the park, in the Venetian castle, where is located a very interesting museum. So one part of the statues and objects that archaeologists have found during excavations there, so they have put them in this museum, which was opened in the year 1960 with the findings of the Italian archaeological expedition that took place in Butrint from 1928 up to 1940, and so the tourists can have an idea what was found in this ancient city, because the rest of them are country. In Butrint we are going to see different periods of times or different settlements that died when it was built the defensive wall, because people have lived there much earlier than this time. The oldest ruins that are before we reach the restaurant there, I would like to ask you if there is anyone who is vegetarian in the group. I'll ask again later, and after don't get confused. Well, something that I'd like to emphasize during for the lunch is that the drinks are not included in the price, so they are extras and you can pay them in lek or in euro. So you have included in the price only the food. So the Albanian currency is lek, L-E-K, 1 euro equals 95 lek. But everywhere in the city, in the restaurants, supermarkets, in the shops, you can use euro too. So you do not need to change the money, and you'll get back the change in euro as well. In some places they accept cards, so if you'd like to pay with a card. Okay, so we are driving now, ladies and gentlemen, in the first street of the city. Saranda has 5 main streets which are parallel with each other. On our way, we are going to see some stairs which are typical and characteristic only to Saranda, especially because of its geographical position up on the mountain. The stairs were built to connect this street, so to make it easier for everyone to reach their destination. And they go up to the main boulevard, which is by the Ionian Sea. We are going to see it in a few minutes. So the stairs were built during communism times, and they were reconstructed about 6 years ago from the local government. And they expanded to the main promenade of the city because it was much narrow, but they made it wider. They have planted there some pine trees, they put them some benches, so everyone can enjoy a beautiful view of the city and of the Ionian Sea from there, from the promenade. On the left hand side you can see the ruins of the old synagogue of the city, which dates in the end of the 4th century AD. Not all of it is excavated. The ruins continue under the street that we are driving now. You can see there the picture of the menorah, which is a mosaic typical with Jewish symbols, because the first people that settled here were the Jewish people. So the synagogue is in the city center. We are in the city center now. The bus will stop on the left hand side in the next street, and on the right hand side down there, it's the way that we are going to follow up to the main promenade. So this is the way that we are going to follow later for the free time. In the 6th century AD, it was built in the synagogue a basilica of the Orthodox religion. And actually, this is one of the first testimonies of the tolerance that exists between different communities in Albania, because Albania is a country that is distinguished for the tolerance in religion. So next to the synagogue is located the mosque of the Muslim religion. So there is the synagogue, the mosque, and the Orthodox Church, which is in a few minutes I'm going to show you a few meters ahead. It was a time that Albania was declared a monarchy, but it was under the control of Italy. So you can see them now on both of your sides, and up to the church that I'll show you in a few minutes. So on the right hand side, this is the main post office of Saranda, which were built during that period. And what you are going to notice is the little balconies of the buildings, which have a typical Italian style. So they were built during that period. Despite these buildings, there are in Saranda the ones that were built during communism times. And during this day, I'm going to show you a typical communist style of the buildings. And there are also the new buildings, or the modern ones, that were built after the year 1998. And I'll explain to you in a few minutes, and I'll show you too the new part of the city. It was rebuilt after communism collapsed, because during communism times the religion was forbidden, and Berhoja, the leadership of communism, destroyed many mosques, churches and monasteries. Some others were closed because he didn't want to let Albanians to believe in God. He wanted Albanians to see the Communist Party, or the Mother Party, how people called it in that time, as the only thing where they could trust. So that's why he did so. And Albania is located the main boulevard of the city, approximately 2 kilometers long. It goes up to the port, and along the promenade is located to the public beach. So if anyone later would like to go to the beach, so during the free time that you are spending in Saranda, I will show you the nearest place so you can go there. So it's free for everyone, and the weather is still perfect. New buildings, because this is the new part of the city. Before the year 1998, there were no buildings at all. Imagine this place here, so before that year, full of pine trees and flowers, pure nature. Saranda has always been called the city of the flowers. But what happened in that time? It were the Albanian immigrants that had immigrated, especially after communism collapsed, that came back in the city. They invested here, building all the new buildings and hotels that you are going to see all the way that we'll be driving from now and on. Well, according to the Albanian law, foreigners in Albania may buy apartments or private houses, but they cannot buy agricultural land. One apartment in Saranda costs from 1,000 euros per 1 square in the city center, or in the first line, or in the new buildings, which are still in construction. So these are the places, and the apartments cost much more. Actually, there are many foreigners that have invested here, especially this, I would say, this last 10 years, that have invested here. They have bought apartments in Saranda. And not only one, but 2 or 3. Many of them have rented them out, so they have put them in Airbnb or Booking. They earn money from them. Some of them live during most of the year here in Saranda because of the perfect climate and the amazing climate that Saranda has, a subtropical climate. So Saranda has a subtropical climate with very hot and dry summers and cool and wet winters. The temperatures during the summer may reach up to 43 degrees Celsius, July and in August, whereas the wettest months of the year are November and December. Sub-zero temperatures are very uncommon in the city, especially the snow is a very rare phenomenon, because Saranda is the only city in the whole Albania that has approximately 300 sunny days per year. In the city live approximately 40,000 inhabitants, but this number triples during the summer season, which starts from the end of April up to the end of October. July and August are the months that we have the biggest number of the tourists in the city. Not only the ones, Albanians that come from different parts of Albania city, and thousands of tourists spend some hours not only in Saranda, but in other parts in the south of Albania too. Because in Albania there are other cities which are part of UNESCO World Heritage. It's not only Butrin that we are going to visit today, but the nearest city, part of UNESCO since the year 2004, is called Gjirokastër, or the Stony City, located about 60 kilometers away from Saranda. It is called the Stony City because all the houses and streets are built with stones, and it is the city that has the most well-preserved Turkish architecture of the whole country of the 17th century. And in Gjirokastër was born as well the leadership of communism, Enver Hoxha. In Gjirokastër is located too one of the most beautiful, most well-preserved, and the most important castles of the whole Albania, that was built in the 19th century by Ali Pasha of Tepelena, or Ali Pasha of Ioannina. Maybe you've heard about him. He was Albanian, but a governor that ruled during the Ottoman invasion in the south of Albania. The other center of him was Ioannina in Greece, where he built there the other castle. He has built one too in Butrin that we are going to see in a perfect geographical, or in a perfect strategic point of the Ionian Sea.